A few meetings ago, Stephanie shared her introduction to an upcoming presentation for 100 town tax assessors on the topic of public speaking and communication. Today, she's going to test drive her conclusion. Please welcome Stephanie Ann Roy with her speech, Five Ways to Win Conclusion. Five Ways to Win Conclusion, Stephanie Ann Roy.
We have talked about a lot today. So we're going to take a few moments at the end here just to do a quick review of some of the more concrete ideas. And then I have a final parting thought for you. So today we talked about 5 communication techniques that you can practice. So these are kind of more the mechanical things that you can work on when you're speaking. So with Tiger, we talked about our body language and our gestures, and a lot of that came from just relaxing into being yourself so that your natural body language could come out. With Crane, we talked about our pacing and our pausing. It's okay to take a breath and leave some space for the audience to hear what you're saying. We talked about smiling with a leopard. A smile can bring such an impact to a conversation or to a speech. And then with snake, which is all about that precision, reducing filler words. As, like, so try to get those out of there as much as possible. And then finally with dragon, it was the audience awareness. So what does the audience need from you? How are they responding to what you're giving them? And then we also talked about some more conceptual principles. So these are more hierarching things to think about developing. With Tiger, it was that confidence and commanding presence. With Crane, it was active listening. Leopard was all about curiosity and getting interested in finding out what's going on behind whatever's happening. Snake was about getting clear and concise with the way that you share your message. And then Dragon was all about integrity. And then, if nothing else, oh, okay. This is my first time doing this. It's all right, people. All right. So then, as you're thinking about your different communication mindsets, remember we start from our goal is dragon. Our overarching goal is that integration with dragon. But we have to start from crane in any communication situation. Crane is that listening animal. So before we start jumping to conclusions, using the breath to bring ourselves back to center so that we can seek understanding allows us to find the dragon mind to use the animals as appropriate. Maybe you need to stay in crane and keep listening. Maybe the situation needs a little bit of tiger, needs some direct honesty. Maybe it's leopard, bringing in that creative curiosity. Or maybe it's time to be snake and just get focused on the data and what's real in front of you. And we also had our 3 core public speaking lessons with shape of the body and that horse stance that you learned, the shape of the voice, practicing raising your voice through the ki, and then the shape of the mind. It's returning to the breath to bring you back to a centered place. Then I had one final thought that I wanted to leave you with. And there is a little bit of a spoiler alert in this one, but Kung Fu Panda came out in 2008. It's been almost 20 years, so if you haven't seen it, it's on you. But we talked a lot about dragon as being that our highest and best self, that best version of ourselves, something that we touch occasionally, but we don't get to live there. We practice returning skillfully again and again as much as possible. If you remember, if you've seen the movie, if you remember the turning point of Kung Fu Panda, it was when Po realizes the meaning of the dragon scroll. Does anyone remember like the quotes, the twist, the lesson? There is no secret ingredient. There is no secret ingredient to being a great speaker or a great communicator or a great leader. There's no magic pill that's going to give you all the confidence or make it feel effortless. And I used to be really terrified of speaking, of sharing my voice, especially when I was younger. And I wanted to do it, but the voice in my head would be berating me the whole time about how I wasn't good enough, or people were thinking I was stupid or boring, or laughing at me when I stumble over my words. But then a few years ago, when I had first started my Toastmasters journey, a memory kind of bubbled up from the depths of my hippocampus. And I remembered riding home from middle school as a fifth grader when suddenly a cool, popular seventh grader made an announcement to the entire bus. I'm not picking my nose, I'm just scratching it. And then she proceeded to scratch her nostril in front of all of these mean, cruel middle schoolers. And I was amazed. I was wishing that I had the confidence to do that. And then years later, as I thought back on that moment, I realized it's just a choice. There is no secret ingredient. If I just raise my voice and name the thing and say it, ask the questions, be willing to make the mistakes, that's where the growth and the people that I admire most in my life, the people I look up to, that the people that I love learning from and listening to, those people are the ones I always thought were the most impressive. The ones that were willing to make mistakes and just keep on rolling. There is no secret ingredient to communication or public speaking. It's just you being authentically and compassionately you. And when it's true, when you are doing your best in service to others, people can feel that. They know that it's there, even if it's just subconscious. And that is what gets people to listen. Okay.